I think in this day and age it's real important to get away from the fossils because of the cost of it and being dependent on it, and also just saving the planet.
I think that, but solar power shouldn't be the only focus of our attempt to develop sustainable, pollution-free energy sources. When I was in graduate school in Canada several years ago, the Environmental Sciences Department built 3 houses which were completely energy sufficient in a climate that rains for most of the year. And solar was used there as one of their sources of energy. But I think we should be thinking about tidal energy, about hydrothermal energy.
First, I certainly think that in several parts of the United States, solar power makes a lot of sense because it's sunny, and solar power is renewable energy. Ultimately, it's free once the system's been paid for, and clearly I believe in it because I have it here on my house.
From an investment standpoint, it's still pretty expensive. Most corporations look for like a 3-year payback, and it's still at about 7 years on the solar. But if you're talking to people that are into the green technology, into saving the environment, that adds a whole new dimension to it, and to those people it is worth it.
For residential customers in California, the financial payback is somewhere between 8 and 10 years. So it still represents a significant investment for the homeowner. But still, when you compare an investment like solar electric on your rooftop or on a ground-based system to other things that you might want to do to your house, like add a bathroom, redo your kitchen, the cost is generally less than either of those. And by reducing your costs associated with your house because you're reducing your electric bill, you're actually increasing the resale value of your house. So there's a lot of financial benefits to solar power.
You can usually figure about $6.50, $7 a watt. So the typical panel is, say, 200 watts. So 200 times 7, $1,400.
People should be encouraged to develop reliance on these alternative energy forms by having incentive programs for the production of solar panels to bring the cost down, and incentives, tax break incentives for the people who install them, so that we can reduce our reliance on dirty energy sources like coal and nuclear.
They're definitely getting more popular, and what's really driving it here in the U.S. or in the California market is the subsidies. So the government's offering money to offset the cost of the solar installation. Right now the incentives are about 50%, so it's definitely going that way because of that. I mean, European countries, they've been heading that way for years.
And the cost has come down as more and more solar modules are created. The manufacturing cost associated with solar panels drops, and eventually the cost will equal what they call grid parity, where the cost to produce solar electricity is equal to the cost to produce electricity today via coal or natural gas or nuclear energy. The advantage to solar, obviously, is it's renewable and it's clean.
Then we took a trip up to Refugio Beach to look at one of the largest solar fields in the Santa Barbara County.
Here we are right off the Refugio exit, and we are at a solar field. And as my partner and I have counted, the solar field has about 220 panels. It is known that it takes about 10 to 15 panels to provide the energy for an average house. Now, as you can see also, it doesn't take up a lot of space, unlike a coal mine. So we have calculated that this solar field can provide enough energy for a dozen houses.
And people talk now about clean nuclear or clean coal or safe nuclear, but there is no such thing as clean coal. That's a fantasy at this point. And nuclear produces waste, which is deadly for generations.
From the standpoint of greenhouse gas emissions, we're producing electricity without producing a carbon footprint. So those are all benefits that financially is hard to put a number on, but environmentally is absolutely the right thing to be doing.
So yes, I'm very strongly of the opinion that we should seek alternate energy forms and sustainable sources.